The Collingwood side of things and the emotion of Saturday night, far beyond just the act of playing the game of football, all for John. So this is not only last week but this week as well, but the funeral now the #1 priority. And the emotions were quite clear from every Magpie who spoke.
It's been a tough week. Personally, we lost a great mate during the week, and I feel for his family, and I just wish them all the best, and what would be a tough fight for him. But J-Mac is someone we respected a lot, and I went through a lot with, so he's going to be sorely missed.
I couldn't be more proud of them and my boys tonight, and the way they played and in the black and white was just amazing, and to honour a fallen brother was just a gutsy effort.
In a small way, it's nice to honour the McCarthy family by wearing this jumper that he wore those times, and for the boys who were very close to him, the boys that played with him, there's a lot of love there for J-Mac and his family, and for the boys to do what they did tonight in a small way, there's a little bit of a tribute there.
We knew that it was going to be hard for guys tonight, and we just wanted them to focus and play in a way that would make J-Mac proud, and those guys really did that. They stood up all night, played really well, and it was great that we all played in a way that J-Mac would have been happy with.
They've lost a mate, and we've lost a person who represented the club with pride and distinction for his time when he was here, and it was important for us to recognise the contribution of J-Mac.
I suppose even though you were mourning the death of a good friend, would you realise how connected you are to your teammates? And I truly believe that's the way we played.
It's really tough. The week we had was probably one of the toughest weeks I've had personally at the club. But to the boys' credit, we all stuck together all week, and to come out, we did start a little bit slowly, but we turned around in the end and were able to get the win.
We're going to the funeral on Thursday, and that'll be an emotional time for the boys, and then to go away and spend some time with each other, get around as a team, and take it in for Fridays.
And you can glean from all of that the regular football analysis would seem not to apply to a match that was played on Saturday night. Scott Pendlebury was the captain of the Pies. Scott, welcome.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
In terms of unique experiences and one that you would never choose to go through, how has this been in what you've been through in a footy career?
Oh, it was the biggest week in my career. Just having to be there for so many guys, and grieving together as a side, and still trying to go out and win a game of football. It really put it into perspective, the final, but at the same time we had an opportunity to represent our good mate in a good way, and the boys played really well.
In death, people tend to find solace in the living, and Harry O'Brien spoke of that yesterday, that the team came together for all sorts of reasons which had nothing to do with the actual act of playing football, yet it sort of resonated there.
Yeah, it brought us a lot closer together. Early in the week, a lot of guys were struggling, and just getting out on the training track together, talking about it together, and really that side-by-side attitude helped us get through the week together.
Pendles, look at that footage there after the game. From there, players started crying. What were you talking about? What was the thrust of your message then?
Oh, I just said to the boys that I was really proud of their effort, and everyone grieves differently, and emotionally it meant more to some guys than the other that were really close with him, and said to the boys I was really proud of the way they attacked the game, and they honoured J-Mac the way they should have.
So you did mention John McCarthy out in the ground?
Yeah, definitely. I think it was important to all the guys, very close mates with him. Beamsy, Reedy, all those guys were fantastic.
We get onto the game, Jared.
Just one more. There's now a second week of this, with the funeral will be held on Thursday, and the absolute commitment from Collingwood to be there, and then there's a final to be played thereafter. Is it a difficult thing to handle through a second week, to sustain through a second week?
I don't think so. I think all the guys want to get there, want to celebrate Johnny's life, and it'll be good for the guys to get there and show their support. And then, as you said, we've got to get up to Sydney and take care of business up there, and I think all the guys are really keen to get there on Thursday.
Great question. I'm going to continue if that's all right. It seems to me that Collingwood haven't actually compartmentalised this. Collingwood have, I don't know if it's the right word, but embraced this death and saying, you're coming along with us.
Oh, he was a big part of our football club for 4 years. A lot of guys were really close with him, and he was emergency 2010 for our grand final, on the cusp for most of last year. So he's a good mate, and as you said, we want to embrace him and celebrate his life.
Can we talk about the game now?
Please do.
Beauty. The game on the weekend, the 2 games on the weekend, that was as brutal as final football that's what we've come to expect when it gets to September. This has been building. Collingwood have been telling us this has been building, we are building, and we were doubting. Everyone was doubting. We saw a little bit against Hawthorn, and then we saw it, bang, against West Coast.
Yeah, I think for us players, we go back to West Coast over there the first time. We did it for 1 quarter. That first quarter, we put them on the back foot, played our way. Next week against Essendon, we did it for a half. We failed against Hawthorn. We did it for about 3 quarters, and on the weekend, that was probably our best performance for the year. And it does take sort of that mental and physical conditioning, and we feel like we've got that and we're ready to go.
Why does it take the building? Instead of saying, right, let's turn it on, let's do it, we know what we have to do. We won a premiership 2 years ago. We know what it takes. Why now is it building? Has it been the injuries, the lack of game time for some of the players?
I think we've been together now for about 6 weeks. You know, we've had our full midfield, our defenders are all together. Obviously, Maxi being out on the weekend was a little hiccup, but mentally you've got to condition yourself to get there, and you know, there's no tap or magic switch that you've got to flick. You've got to be mentally prepared to bring it every week.
Did you have an acceptance and appreciation of how significant a result this was for your coach, Nathan Buckley?
Oh, I felt good for him that we're able to execute what he's been asking. He's been really good though for the last sort of month when, you know, the players have sort of struggled. As I said, we've only been able to execute for a half and then 3 quarters, and he's always reconfirmed to us that we're building. And we are going to hit our peak at the right time, and I feel that, you know, all the boys agree with him that we are playing our best football when it matters.
Talk about the All-Australian. Are all 40 nominations? I don't think they're here.
No, it's just the 22, I think.
Right, yeah, so it's a good luck. There's only 22. Yeah. How would you rate your season this year? How many games did you miss? 5 in the bye?
I think I missed 4 in the bye.
Were you surprised when you got the letter and said, come on, Scott Pendlebury, bring your lovely girlfriend and come along?
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I didn't know that it was going to be just the 22 here until, you know, you get here and you find out it's just the 22 guys here. So I was sort of coming, expecting, not really knowing whether, but there's a little bit of surprise, I thought. So, my year was sort of broken up into 2 parts, sort of pre-broken leg and post-broken leg. I thought my first half of the year was really, really good, and second half of the year felt it sort of dropped away a little bit, still contributed.
More importantly, it's coming together now. Your performance on the weekend as captain replacing Maxwell, and you had a lot of leaders. Reid up one end, you know, you're the defensive back six, which is superb. And you talk about that midfield, you're getting back to that, the best of yourself.
Yeah, I think our contested footy numbers, tackle numbers were really good. We got comprehensively beaten against West Coast over there, and you know, we beat them in contested footy, beat them in tackles, beat them in clearances, so it's a big feather in our midfield's cap.
Okay, one broader issue for you out of the game is the video review system and how you believe it's working and the player group feels that it's been imposed upon the game, and this was the specific incident.
Yeah, it was a tough one because you know, I was back in the middle of the ground waiting for the centre bounce to go up, and sort of as you think it's about to go up, the whistle went and said we're having a review. So you know, as a player, you can't really worry about that. We had to just organise for worst case scenario. That was the point, so we all had to get a guy and get ready.
Started setting up.
Setting up.
I just want to use the freeze frames here because I think in the moment that it happened, we all felt there should be a review, and that is what happened. But you have to have definitive evidence to overrule. So is all of the ball over all of the line in those shots to justify the overrule? I think that's a difficult question to answer, rather than the impulsive, we think that's wrong, let's get the overrule.
Yeah, as you said, it's very hard to tell from those images there if it's one way or the other. And as you can see there, Eddie
what a surprise.
Yeah, he wasn't happy about it. And
but players can't dwell on that.
No,
You've got to get on with the game.
It is your game. It is your game, and this is something that's been brought in to improve it. And so the players' voice as to whether it has improved it or not is tremendously significant, beyond that one incident.
I think there's times throughout the year when they've got it spot on and it's been a benefit to the game, but it's just those ones where it's a lot of grey area. You're sort of not sure which way it's going to go, if it's going to go with the umpire's initial call or off a gut feel. So as Robbo said, we don't have time to worry about it because, you know, if you let that worry you the next contest, you might lose and be out of the contest.
Jared become a father for the 3rd time today, so if you need any advice on becoming a father, I don't know if you're planning on it or not.
No,
feel free to ring Jared.
Will do.
Terrific, Scott. Enjoy the night. I know you will, and good luck for what's to come in Sydney.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Scott Pendlebury with us on AFL 360.